icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The city of Clinton continued its efforts to expand local housing, moving forward with new incentives to attract developers and accommodate the county's industrial growth. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, City Administrator Tony Harris told the Hart Media Group, while these efforts have been underway for nearly a year, the city is still in the early stages of laying the groundwork for significant residential development.
We want to make sure that the city of Clinton and the county capitalizes on those businesses coming in. There's going to be 500 plus employees. Then we want to make sure that we've got the housing. Right now we do not. So we started very early last year working on that, and we're I think you said it earlier before we went on the air. Laying the groundwork. We're trying to lay the groundwork just to, we're in the very early stages still, even though it's been almost a year since we started working on this. We're laying the groundwork. We know it's no secret. We're working on a TIF district to give incentives to builders, developers that want to come to town and to take advantage of that to offset some cost. The mayor and I had a meeting with all the local builders in town just to kind of brainstorm, their ideas on what they're doing. That was a successful meeting. So the developers, the local builders, they're listening to us. And I've been contacted by most of them on how can we help, So we're trying to build the TIF district around some of that where, where they maybe plan to build apartment buildings or, housing. So we're listening to them too, and they're listening to us. And we're in the very early stages of it. Some of them have already bought land, or their intent is to buy land.
A primary focus of the council's action was the approval of inducement resolutions. These non-binding agreements allow developers to potentially tap into tax increment financing, or TIF funds, if their project falls within the boundaries of a TIF district. Harris notes these incentives are often the first thing builders ask for when considering building in a community.
And you talked about the inducement resolution, and what that is basically is the intent. It's an agreement between the developer. It's an intent to take advantage of the TIF funds if they come available. It's a non-binding agreement, but it just puts them in a place where if the TIF district lands in their geographical area where they're planning on building either houses, businesses, retail, whatever, then they can take advantage of that. So again, we're laying the groundwork. We're in the very early stages. We had a developer in here, I don't know, last month, I think it was, talking about a proposed subdivision. I want to emphasize on that one, we're kind of at phase 0 on that. The land's not even been purchased yet. The only thing we did on that is the council approved the inducement resolution. That's it. The land's not been purchased. The developer has not given us any kind of drawings yet. There's a lot of work that has to go into that when we get the proposed site plan. We've got to work with the water and sewer. How's that going to look? How are we going to connect the streets, to the existing streets? How are we going to connect the water? How are we going to connect the sewer? So there's a lot that goes into that. And that project really is at phase 0.
These agreements signal to developers that the city is open for business. By passing the inducement resolutions before land is purchased, Harris says the city ensures that developers remain eligible for TIF assistance, which can help offset critical infrastructure costs like water and sewer connections.
Why we are doing this is because if we don't do the inducement resolution, if we don't do that agreement, then they can't take advantage of the TIF if the TIF comes. Typically what happens, Typically what happens is the TIF is already in place. We've got the TIF boundary and it's already in place. A developer will come in and say, I want that land. It's in the TIF district, so I'm going to go after these TIF incentives. Unfortunately, that's not here yet. So, again, we started the TIF project last year as well. And because we're seeing economic growth, we're getting lots of things coming in at once. But that's, I mentioned it last time I was in, when we talk to developers, that's the first thing they ask. What's the incentive here?
Mm-hmm.
Are we in a TIF district? So you're right. The problem is we don't have that established TIF. So we're trying to work all these projects. We're trying to come up with a TIF boundary to help. But we're also getting all these developers contacting us, and they want to do something here, whether it's residential housing or retail businesses, commercial businesses. So it's all coming together at once. That's kind of the problem. So we're working all these avenues all at one time.
According to Harris, the city is also working with a consultant to formally establish a new TIF district. Harris explains defining these boundaries is a complex process that requires ongoing coordination with local builders and planners. This will continue to be an ongoing process to establish TIF districts, but Harris hopes to have dirt moving later this year. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Again, DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Grant Kiger hit an inside-the-park home run. Coy Williams blasted a solo shot backing Matthias Rudolph's 5 innings as Monticello beat Pana 8-3 in a makeshift non-conference high school baseball game in Monticello on Wednesday. Kiger took advantage of a misplayed 3-run homer in the first inning. A routine fly ball was lost in the midday sky by Pana's right fielder, allowing Kiger to easily score. It was all Rudolph needed. The junior fired 5 innings of 1-run ball with 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and permitted just 2 hits. Williams' 5th inning no-doubter to right put Monticello in front 8-1. Rudolph added an RBI triple that capped the 4-run first inning for Monticello. He was 2 for 3 at the plate, earning the State Bank of Bement Player of the Game. Kiger finished 2 for 3 with a double in addition to his inside-the-park home run. Pana falls to 12-11 overall. Monticello goes to 25-2. They will host Mattoon on Saturday. Ridge Braden drove in 5 runs from the 9 spot in the Heyworth batting order, and Heyworth powered its way to an 11-3 win over Fisher in Heart of Illinois Conference baseball action on Wednesday in Heyworth. Braden single in the 3rd scored 3 runs to put the Hornets up 6-0. He finished 3 for 4 with a double. Braden Leish and Caleb Zellers had doubles, while Boston Cats had a triple in an offensive power display by the Hornets. Cats went 3 innings of shutout ball with 4 strikeouts, and 4 Hornets arms combined to strike out 10. Heyworth goes to 8-11-2 overall and 4-6 in the Heart of Illinois Conference action. They visit Peoria Christian on Thursday. Chase Roberts singled home the winning run in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Mount Pulaski walked off Athens 4-3 in Tomahawk Conference action on Wednesday, clinching the outright conference championship for the Hilltoppers in Mount Pulaski. Skylar Durst singled to start the inning. A sacrifice moved him to second. After the second out, Roberts brought home Durst to secure the Hilltoppers' 14th victory of the season. Luke Martin pitched into the 6th inning for Mount Pulaski, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits, issuing 6 walks and striking out 8. Roberts struck out 6 in 3 1/3 innings of relief for the win in Mount Pulaski. Roberts was 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 walks to lead Mount Pulaski. The Hilltoppers are 14-7 overall. They visit Pawnee on Saturday. Carter Logue outdueled Preston Curtis in a spectacular pitcher's duel at Clinton High School on Wednesday afternoon. Logan fired 6 innings of 2-run ball with 8 strikeouts. Neither run was earned for Logue. Curtis went the distance with 8 strikeouts of his own. He allowed 3 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits. Jackson Finch hit a 2-run single in the top of the 7th inning that put the Bombers ahead 3-2. Brock Wilson reached on an error in the 1st inning, which scored a run. Ryan Pine followed with a double that scored Wilson to put the Maroons in front 2-0. Finch doubled in a run in the 5th inning to make the score 2-1. It would stay that way until the 7th. Josh Bass was 2 for 4 with a double for Clinton at the top of the order. Finch finished 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs for the Bombers. Argenta-Oreana improves to 15-8 overall. They visit Villa Grove in Lincoln Prairie Conference action on Thursday. Clinton goes to 15-10 overall. They visit Lincoln on Friday. Hear the action on WHOW and all its digital platforms. A 9-run 5th inning broke through a slow start for Normal Community as the Ironmen shut out Urbana 10-0 in a 5-inning run rule win in Big 12 Conference high school baseball action on Wednesday in Urbana. Carter Reiners fired a no-hitter across 5 innings of shutout ball with 8 strikeouts and issued just 1 walk. Max Heineman, Carter Harris, and Beckett Weber contributed doubles for Normal Community. Tice Beckman had 2 RBIs. Normal Community goes to 22-2 overall and 12-1 in the Big 12 Conference. They will host Urbana on the return of a home-and-home in Big 12 play on Friday. Mason Anslinger struck out 10 across 6 innings of shutout ball, leading Normal West to a 6-0 win over Danville in Big 12 Conference high school baseball action on Wednesday in Normal. Ty Backman's 2-run single in a 4-run 3rd inning backed an incredible outing by Anslinger. Backman was 2 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs. Anslinger had a triple. The Wildcats go to 17-9 overall and 9-4 in the Big 12. They will travel to Danville on Friday. Madison Highland twirled 5 shutout innings, and Isabella Beery drove in a team-best 3 runs as Monticello blanked Maroa-Forsyth 10-0 in a run-rule non-conference win over Maroa-Forsyth on Wednesday in Monticello. Beery was 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a triple to lead the Lady Sages. Allie Widener and Reese Steiger drove in 2 runs apiece and each hit doubles for Monticello. Cassidy Stoffel and Highland drove in the other runs. Highland walked 3, allowed a hit, and struck out 1 in 5 shutout innings in Circle for Monticello. The Lady Trojans dropped to 10-17 overall. They host Warrensburg Latham on Friday. Monticello improves to 20-7 overall. They are off until Monday when they host Olympia. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Addison Maiden drove in 4 runs, and Argenta-Oreana rallied past Clinton 6-3 in non-conference high school softball action on Wednesday afternoon in Argenta. Maiden's 2-run home run in the 3rd inning answered a 3-run frame from the Lady Maroons to make the score 3-2. Then Maiden added a 2-run homer in a decisive 4-run 5th inning. The Lady Maroons went in front when Laney Brewer singled in 2 in the top of the 3rd inning. Campbell Bass followed with a run-scoring single to put Clinton in front 3-0. Maiden led all players going 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Brewer drove in 2 for Clinton, while Avery Smith and Hadley Humble each hit doubles in the loss. The Lady Bombers are 13-10 overall. They visit Villa Grove on Thursday for a Lincoln Prairie Conference tilt. Clinton goes to 7-17 overall. They host Meridian on Friday in Central Illinois Conference play. Travis Denard hit a 3-run homer. Argenta-Oreana threw 6 innings of 2-hit ball, and the Los Angeles Angels defeated the Chicago White Sox 8-2 on Wednesday.
The White Sox began a 6-game West Coast trip with an infusion of excitement, but it quickly wilted in the California sun Wednesday afternoon. Failing to turn a second-inning double play allowed veteran catcher Travis d'Arnaud to punish rookie Noah Schultz.
And he drives one in the air to deep left, and it is gone. That's a 3-run homer.
Things went from bad to worse when Chase Mydroth failed to end the same inning after losing a pop-up in the sun.
2-1 is popped up on the infield. Mydroth was looking for help, and the ball drops. It's a base hit for Trout.
The Sox exit California 3-3 on the trip. After an off day on Thursday, the Sox start up a 9-game homestand at Wright Field, beginning with the Seattle Mariners Friday night. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 6 p.m. on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The White Sox are back in action on WHOW on Saturday when they play the second of a 2-game series against the Seattle Mariners. Pregame starts at 5:30 p.m. Aaron Ashby tied Atlanta's Chris Sale for the Major League lead with his 6th win, backed by Andrew Vaughn's 3-run homer in a 4-run first inning, and the Milwaukee Brewers beat the St. Louis Cardinals 6-2 on Wednesday. Aaron Ashby entered to open the 6th and pitched 2 hitless innings, allowing his only runner to reach on a walk as 5 pitchers combined on a 4-hitter. Rookie Brandon Sproat started and gave up 1 hit and 3 walks over 4 innings while striking out 5. Andre Palante allowed 5 runs and 8 hits in 6 innings as the Cardinals lost for the second time in 9 games. Brewers right-hander Jacob Misiorowski starts Friday's series opener against the New York Yankees, and left-hander Max Fried. Cardinals lefty Matthew Liberatore starts Thursday at San Diego, which starts right-hander Michael King. Michael Busch drove in the winning run with a bases-loaded walk in the 10th inning after Pete Crow Armstrong connected for a 2-run homer in the 9th, and the Chicago Cubs beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-6 on Wednesday night for their 8th consecutive victory. It was the 3rd consecutive walk-off win for the Cubs. Busch hit an RBI single in the 10th inning of Tuesday night's 3-2 victory over the Reds. Ian Happ also homered as NL Central leading Chicago won for the 18th time in 21 games overall. Happ finished with 3 hits and scored twice. Matt McClain and Spencer Steer homered for Cincinnati in its 6th consecutive loss. Trent Thornton got 3 outs for the win in his Cubs debut. Happ extended his on-base streak to 27 games when he connected for his team-high 9th homer in the 1st inning. Rhett Lauder starts for Cincinnati on Thursday, and left-hander Shoto Imanaga pitches for Chicago in the finale of the 4-game series. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Whether your door leads to the farm, field, or shop, you can follow breaking ag news, markets, and weather updates 24 hours a day. It's now easier than ever. Enjoy our trusted news and information. Listen to the RFD Radio Network, the Taking Stock podcast, and check out county events, auctions, and more. And sign up for the daily update to receive top headlines delivered to your inbox 5 days a week. Go to farmweeknow.com. All ag, all Illinois, all you need.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Mississippi has been slammed by violent storms, including tornadoes that struck overnight. Hundreds of buildings suffered damage, much of it in the southern part of the state. Governor Tate Reeves reports multiple tornadoes, says emergency response efforts are continuing. It is a legal victory for the Department of Justice as it investigates allegations of election fraud in 2020 in Georgia. As Iran considers a U.S. proposal for ending the war, President Trump says that things have been